James earns millions from internet marketing. Tim's got millions of questions. Welcome to Freedom Ocean. Now, jump on in.
James Schramko, welcome back to the ocean. Can you hear those birds in the background?
No.
They're there. They get put there in post-production.
Oh,
yeah,
those birds.
Those birds.
Oh, yep.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, they're awesome.
Hey, welcome back, listeners, to Freedom Ocean, episode, what are we up to? 14. Would that be right?
Yeah.
Australia's number one internet marketing podcast is getting old, is maturing.
Like a fine bottle of Grange.
Correct.
For the overseas listeners, that's good red wine.
Good red wine, absolutely. Good to be back in the ocean, James, and the listeners will be very, very happy with the content of this episode. It's a listener love-in.
Oh, let's
love
go.
a love-in.
We're going to do rapid-fire questions.
Well,
what's the deal?
We will. We'll rapid-fire, but we'll make sure we answer them with the amount of love that is expected on the ocean, because we've got a lot of questions. I've probably got, probably got a backlog of 20 or 30 if I was to sort of dig into our Facebook fan page and show notes and all that type of stuff, but that's okay. We will get through them over the course of time, that's for sure. So let's get stuck in. I'll start with an easy one. Now, you have previously mentioned on an earlier episode the concept or separating internet marketers into two categories, hunters and farmers. What did you mean by that?
Well, it's two styles of marketing, and they can coexist. But predominantly the big, loud, brash, hypey gurus tend to be hunters. They're out looking for the next kill. They are continually looking for a new supply of customers, so they spend the majority of their activities geared around getting a customer in and taking money from them and upselling them and pushing them through the sales funnel as fast as they can and as hard as they can. And then the other style of marketing is farming, where you plant seeds, you harvest the seeds, and you get a crop. And if you look after your land and you respect the process and you work with Mother Nature, you can continually harvest that crop. So maybe you plant a vineyard and you harvest the grapes and you can make grape wine and sell that, and then you can continue to till the soil and rest the fields and stuff. So in that case, they're getting customers on board, but with a lifetime value viewpoint, and they nurture and respect their customers, and they find valuable solutions and work with those customers over the long term.
Right. So one, I was going to say one takes longer than the other, but I imagine the hunter may spend a whole lot of time hunting and actually come back with nothing or not a lot.
Well, what happens is they might hunt a field of antelope and then they run out of things to hunt.
Yep.
And then they go starving. What we're seeing now in the internet marketing field is some of the pioneers have run out of things to hunt. They've actually used up their available pool of new customers. And I don't know how many there are. I'm going to estimate there might be 100 to 200,000 core internet marketing people out there, but after a while they actually get familiar and they start to learn the ropes, and then they know who to avoid because they feel like they've been basically shot at, and fleeced.
Yep.
So
just in the spirit of the Freedom Ocean, we'll say harpooned.
I think you're better off to take the lifetime approach. Be more of a farmer than a hunter.
Yep.
By all means, when you're a farmer, you might want to go and round up some more, go and gather some more crops or acquire some new assets to farm. But if you do that respectfully, you can continue to grow your business. And that's something that I've tried to do with mine, is I'm still dealing with many of the people who I started dealing with years ago, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, bought my very first product, are still buying my products and using my services because we have a nurturing farmer relationship.
I think it's a mindset, it's a very smart mindset, and it's a mindset that some of us, hand up again, I put my hand up a lot, don't I? I'm always the first to dob myself in. But it's a mindset that many people go into internet marketing looking for the quick buck because we've all seen the headlines, haven't we? We talked about one in the previous show, $1 million in 1.4 minutes or some ridiculous headlines like that. And, maybe we've all been sucked in by them at some point in time. It's also part of our
instant society, Tim.
Correct.
People aren't used to the old school values of delayed gratification. It's like, I want my fix now. I want to make money today.
Yep.
If you can weather it out for a while and commit to building something useful, it might take a while. Generally, the longer it takes to monetize something, the more money will be when you monetize it. And I take that approach with relationships.
Yeah.
If you can nurture a relationship for years before you ever put your hand out and ask for anything, by the time you do, you've got such a good relationship. The transaction is very easy.
It's the foreplay before the sex, James.
Okay, I'll leave that one with you.
Well, I think that keeps us in a PG kind of rating, but yeah, it is. I mean, it's getting to know, isn't it? And really understanding what problems they're experiencing, insight into the customer.
This reminds me of a recent trend. I've seen 3 marketers make this fatal error.
Yep.
They've come out...
That's a big error, fatal.
Fatal. Really, in marketing sense,
yep.
They have nobbled their business.
Yep.
And 3 of them have done this, and they've come out and said, paid members only now. I'm not doing any freeline content. I'm just dealing with paying customers. Mm-hmm. And one of them was sort of a would-be if he could be hustler sort of marketer. Another guy's a really big marketer who should have known better, who's since come out and said it was a stupid mistake. And the other person is sort of a small-timer who will remain small-time because when you cut your freeline, when you stop doing the meet and greet and rapport building
yep.
and letting people see what you're all about, that actually weakens your position. They don't actually know who you are now. Only your paying customers know, and when they go, you don't have a way to top up again. You're gone. So I would caution people against being the paid-only type. When you're a farmer, you have to plant the seeds in advance. You've got to water them. You've got to protect the soil. You have to keep the birds off your land. You've got to shoot the rodents. And you've got to, your harvest comes later. Your harvest comes after the work, after looking after the crops, after Mother Nature's, rain and season changes. So there may be a delay from when you plant the seeds to when you harvest. But if you can manage that whole process, then you are really harvesting.
You can keep talking. We can edit that out.
That was quite bizarre. Had a little friendly.
We can edit that out.
Yeah. Okay, so when you are a farmer and you adopt this principle of planting the seeds and then harvesting the seeds, then you will be in a good position. And this is quite the paradox, Tim. This came from my commission-only sales role. When I was selling for a living.
Yeah, right.
100% commission only.
So you wanted to hunt. I mean, it was almost like it would be
everyone
silly if you didn't.
Is a hunter.
Yep.
They sit there waiting for the next customer to come in to slam them into a car. And I would build relationships and go for the farming, nurturing relationship. I would say to someone, I want to be your car guy. I want to be here for the second and the third car. I'll look after you, make sure you make a good decision, so that we can talk next time and we won't be embarrassed about what you bought and all that. And, I knew that if I wasn't talking to people today, I'm not going to be selling a car in a month from now. And if I was selling cars left, right and centre, then I knew that I had to take time to start building relationships so that in a month from now I could be selling cars. So you will have times where you plant and times where you harvest. You can't do this, you cannot do them at the same time. And that is important to know, that whatever you put your attention on now will have an outcome in the future. If you're planting like crazy, make sure that you stop planting for a while and go and harvest them. Otherwise, the crops will go off before you harvest them. Yeah. And some people do that with opportunities. They are out there so busy planting opportunities everywhere, they forget to go and harvest any of them, or they get confused or overwhelmed.
I know one of those people.
Very common in this industry. So plant some seeds and then harvest.